Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I am talking some more about some pins tonight, and for tonight I want to talk a little bit about limited edition pins. What makes a pin a limited edition? Just like a lot of you, I've got my fair share of stamped limited edition pins, whether it's a limited edition of 200 or 400, 500, 1000, 1500, whatever they want to do for that particular run. But as I'm organizing my collection and getting it ready for display, I started looking, and I've got pins from a lot of different genres. Restaurant pins, everything from McDonald's to Outback Steakhouse to Chuck E. Cheese's to you name it. Whenever I go out to eat, I try to have a few pins with me, so if I happen to find an employee who's wearing a bunch of lapel pins, to see if they're interested in trading, and a lot of times they are. So I'm able to collect those pins during those periods of time. I have Olympic pins. I have Elks Club pins. I have softball league pins. I have pins from different attractions from all over to where I've traveled or went to do something with family and collected a pin as part of my memory set. And I got to thinking really hard about that, and it dawns on me that all the pins are limited editions. Now, the editions may be a lot larger in some pins than they are others, but they're all limited editions. My Olympic pins, for the years that the Olympics were going on, they don't make those pins anymore, even though they were very common at the time. Even a lot of the rack pins from Disney. For an example, I have a pin from Dixie Landings, the resort at Disney that no longer exists under the name Dixie Landings. It was a rack pin. It was sold as a non-limited edition pin. I'm sure a lot of people purchased that pin during Dixie Landings' run there at Disney World. However, now that the resort no longer exists, the pin is no longer made. It's a limited edition pin. So I've learned to treat all of my collection as limited edition pins, and of course the longer you have the pin in your collection, the more likely its edition is going to end, and you will have a pin that no longer is able to be purchased out there. And that's pretty much the definition of a limited edition pin. There's a certain number of them, and then there are no more. And just like anything with limited editions, then you have to account for lost pins and broken pins and throwaways, and over time they become more and more rare. Of course, the smaller the edition is, the more quickly they'll become rare, but I've learned to treat every pin like a limited edition pin, because eventually it'll be so. So I didn't really bring a specific pin to the table tonight to put up as a picture, so I'm going to end the video with just a little look at how I'm starting to organize my pin collection, a small part of it anyway, and see if there's any comments out there on what I could do differently or better. I am in the process of getting some custom pin boards made for the collections, and also just really getting them to where they're out in their different sets and their different genres, so that when they're displayed, people will be able to enjoy them that way. Why do people collect limited edition pins, or any other pins for that matter? I think probably a very small percentage of us collect for the value of the pin. I'm not one of them. I said us, but I'm not one of them. But I think that would be a very small percentage. I think for the most part people collect because they enjoy it. They either really like the art that is put into the pins. It happens to be something that they have a big focus on, like Disney. So they collect the pins because there's such a wide variety to choose from. Or if you're like me and I've had the urge to collect something all of my life, I just kind of
the song All of My Life.
Just kind of fell into.
Should I play the song All of My Life?
That's funny. Just while I was talking, my Echo decided to start talking back to me. And I didn't even say the wake word. That's a little weird, isn't it? But anyway, like I said, with me, it's just something, I've been a collector all of my life of one thing or another. And when I found pins to start collecting, it was just the one collection that stuck. So again, I've got over a 20-year collection and plan to continue collecting for at least another 20 years. So by the time I'm done, I should have a pretty nice display for somebody to hopefully not break up and to put somewhere where people can enjoy the collection. Anyway, share my viewpoints on the limited edition pins or not. Leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear it, and we'll get a conversation started. Like the video and share as always, and of course, subscribe. Subscriptions always help, and they're always free. Guys, have a great night. I'll end the video just with a little walkthrough of how I'm starting to do my collection, and I will see you next time. Good night.